Hello and welcome to part 5 of the banana tutorial. This is David Ward. When last I left you, we had gotten the material set up for the banana. And tell you what, let's just go to CPU compute. I don't think my graphics card likes being recorded as it's using the computation power. So anyways, we'll just use the CPU for now. I got a pretty strong CPU, so it should be fine. So anyways, we got the banana, but using this diffuse BSDF, it looks a little plasticky. So what we're going to do is go ahead and add in subsurface scattering. So we're going to go ahead and just move that to the color for there and there. Just go ahead and get rid of that diffuse. Now, I don't see a lot of difference there, but let's go into, you can kind of see a little bit of difference. But I want to set some of the settings up here. Radius, I'm going to make the RGB. It goes RGB, red, green, and blue. So I'm going to say, let's go 12 on the red, and let's do 9 on the green, and then just like 5 on the blue. So it'll give us kind of a greenish blue, or excuse me, a yellowish color for our transmission color there. Okay, and the scale looks way too plasticky or waxy there, so I'm going to bump that way down to about 0.2. And you can see that really made it a big difference. But it still looks a little too waxy, so let's try 0.15. And I think that'll work. Okay, so we got that for the banana skin itself. I'm going to hide that, select it here, and tell you what, let me turn my screencast keys back on, sorry. Go ahead and hide that, and we're stuck with the flesh of the banana. So we're going to make a new material for it. I'm going to hit the little 2 right there and rename it. It made a duplicate copy of the banana skin material, so I'm just going to make a new material called banana flesh. Yeah, the meat part of the banana meat flesh. But we don't need the color ramp for that, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. Tell you what, let me undo that. I'm not going to use the color ramp for the color, but I will be using it later on for some texture. But yeah, so the banana's not pure white, it's going to be a very pale yellow, so we'll just come in here and give it a little bit more color. Maybe about like so. Alright, and it doesn't need to be shiny at all, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this mix shader there. Just going to get rid of that, it'll be glossy. And now I want to give it, you know, some bumpiness, because right now it's just smooth and it doesn't look very realistic. So I'm going to add in Shift A, and I'm going to go input, or is it input? Texture. There we go. Wave texture. All right. So I'm going to use these same texture coordinates and mapping that we have from the previous one, and just go ahead and hook that vector up to vector. And then just so we can see it a little better, I'm going to go ahead and hook it up to the color for now. And we can see that it's not quite what we want. So I need to, let's clear out the rotations here, see if I can get it pretty close to, you know, striped vertically. So let's put that back to -45 perhaps, and that's pretty good. All right, so let's set the scale. If we make it go up, it'll make it, you know, it'll make the texture on there smaller. So we're gonna put it up to about, maybe about right there. And then I want to add in, so right now if we just use this as the displacement, just put that on to there, and then go ahead and take it off of the color. You can see we get a little bit of a striation there, stripes. And that's okay, I guess, but it doesn't look very, you know, organic. So let's go ahead and pop that over here again just to see it visually. And I'm going to add in some distortion. Just a little bit of distortion in there, and that helps make it look a little more natural. So let's go ahead and bump it up a little smaller too. Okay, so that'll probably be pretty good. But then the white part, I don't want it to be solid white. I'd like to have some noise, so I'm going to go Shift A, and I'm going to add in a noise texture. Now the thing with the noise texture is it's colored. So if we put that up there just for visualizations, you can see that it's colored. Go and get the mapping vector there. But I don't want it color. I want it just black and white because it's going to be for the bump map. So I'm going to go to the color, hue saturation, pop that on there, set the saturation to 0, and that'll make it just shades of gray. So now I can set the scale up, same thing. The bigger the number is, the smaller, the more times it's mapped on there. So we'll scale it up really big. And you know, just for visualization's sake, we can just go to material, and it won't take quite so long to get a preview of it. So let's go scale, set that up quite high, like so. Now we're seeing some smearing there on the edge because when I unwrapped the banana, I didn't actually unwrap it, I just did a screenshot like so. And since it's got more than just color, like the banana skin, where it was just fading from brown to green to yellow, you know, whatever, this actually has bumps on it. So we definitely want to do this one a little bit different. So let's tab into edit mode, and we're just going to go ahead and unwrap it normally. So let's put a seam right here. If I can select the right ones, and then put a seam around the top there. And I'm going to unselect these two edges there. Control E, mark seam. So that'll kind of flip up like a flip top. So let's look over here, UV image editor, just so we can select this, and U unwrap, and it should unwrap it nicely. So that'll be good there, and you can see that that bump map on there is now a lot better. Okay, so let's pop this back to the node editor. And so we got this bump map, and I want to mix that with the wave texture that we had. So we got to do Shift A, and we're going to do a mix RGB. So we're going to just drag that limestone yellow, pop it in there, and then just grab this one, and we'll just knock that other one down. So now, it's getting that striped pattern there, but we need to say multiply, so it kind of adds them together. You can kind of see some of that bump underneath there. One thing to make those black lines a little less powerful there, we can Shift A and do another mix RGB, pop that in there, and mix it with just a white or gray color, and that'll make it a lot more pale. So you can see you get the bumps there from the noise, and we just mix that with a little less of the white to get those so they're not quite so prominent there. Okay, so that's not too bad. Kind of looks a little weird up here, so let's see if I can't get it a different type of mapping just for those stripes. Or actually, I can tell you what, let's do this. We'll go over to the Object Data tab, scroll down here to the UV maps. And so right now we have just the one UV map, and it's the one that we added the seams for. So I'm going to add another one, and let's just call this one, the first one, we'll rename it to Bumpy. Okay, and then the second one, we'll rename it to Stripes. Alright, so let me tab in here, make sure we're on the Stripes UV map, and we can go U, Project from View. And then that'll give us that one, the one that we were using first. So we got two different layouts here now. So we got, select everything about the UV Bumpy, where it's nice and laid out properly, and then the UV stripes, UV map stripes. Okay, so now to tell Cycles which ones to use, go back to the node editor, and it's going to be in here. Got to tell it which UV to use, and I believe that's the input UV map. Yes. So we'll just say UV map Bumpy for that one, and go ahead and get rid of that. I didn't end up needing it. I used the wave texture instead. Let's go ahead and cut that string there and Shift D, duplicate that up. Put that there. And instead of using these texture coordinates, we're going to use this UV map. So let's kill that. Boop. And then Shift D, duplicate that. Boop. And so this one is going to the bands, the stripes. So this one needs to be stripes. And you can see it's nicely done now. Whereas, you know, before, if we used bumpy, kind of maps it weird here on the tip. So we just use stripes. And then the bumpy part down here with the noise, that's just going to be the bumpy, so it's already good. Okay, so that's our bump map for the banana meat itself, the flesh of the banana. So we can kill that into the color and just run it over to the displacement. It's kind of hard to see in this material view. I'm going to save this while I'm thinking about it. And we can go to rendered, and then you can see the banana looks a little more banana-like. So if I hit Alt-H, we can bring in that skin again, and then let's turn on the layer that has the rig in it. We can't see it now because it's in the render view, and obviously you don't render the rig, so I'm going to Z back into just the standard solid view. And let's go ahead and peel that banana down. Actually, got to go back to pose mode for that. So let's go ahead and peel the banana, just so we can see what it looks like. And we'll save that, and we'll go to rendered view. And now we see a nice looking banana with a nice looking skin. Now, running out of time for this part 5, so I'm going to go ahead and jump to part 6, and we'll add some thickness to the skin so it's not like paper thin here, and then maybe we'll get in and add in the bites off of the banana. So that's going to be it for part 5. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in part 6.